Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Yes, it's that time again. It's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock Central, and welcome to the FantasyGreek.com's NFL Football Power Hour. I'm your host, Jim Saranteas of the FantasyGreek.com, and I'm joined by our producer from 87sportsfans.com, Keith Grieve, and soon we will be joined by, sometime soon, Ed McMahon lookalike, the next Howard Cosell, Steve Taylor, also from 87sportsfans.com.
Yes.
Keith, how we doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Up until talking to you, I guess I was slowing down for the day. I've done my share of shoveling today and, just kind of winding down. But all this stuff that happened today in the NFL is really driving me a little crazy, let me tell you.
It's been a whole lot of shoveling, if you know what I mean, on everybody's part.
And I know.
You and I were shoveling snow, and these idiots in the NFL getting arrested for shoveling junk.
Well, let's not jump to conclusions just yet, Keith.
Allegedly.
Let's just start off by saying we've got a great show. Let's start there.
I have faith in law enforcement that if you get arrested, you're probably guilty.
Jeez. Well,
but for legal purposes, I will say allegedly.
Allegedly. What do they say? All those shows, innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
Well, actually, that's the law. So, but today, let me tell you, ladies and gents, we'll be talking about some of the news that hit the internet today that we've been alluding to, and it's involved some players being bad boys, so to speak, and that is probably an understatement for some. Then we're going to have a little Browns talk, as they're off to a shaky start this off season, to say the least, too. Just a reminder, if you're listening live and you have any questions or comments, feel free to give us a call at 585-633-7487. That's 585-633-7487. Or tweet the Greek at #AskTFG. And remember, there is no such thing as a stupid question, only stupid answers.
How long have you been sitting on that tweet the Greek?
Today I came up with it.
I know, but like this afternoon, have you been like jumping around, dancing around your house all afternoon, waiting to use that tonight?
Only the last couple hours. How's that?
Okay.
I actually came up with the hashtag idea some time ago, but the tweet the Greek, I was like, oh, that's really good. I mean, it's the little things.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You will get no argument from me. No argument.
Yeah. So, let's see where were we?
You're about to delve into the whole police blotter in the NFL that broke today.
Yeah, today the NFL police blotter was pretty jam-packed with news, and there were 4 incidents that came up. And I suppose, Keith, if we're going to start with anything, why don't we just start off with the most serious one, and we'll sort of graduate ourselves down to more stupider things. How's that?
Sounds good to me. I like heading towards stupid. I think it's fantastic.
For those of you listening, if you hadn't heard, Packers nose tackle LaTroy Guion was arrested today on felony possession of a firearm and marijuana. The photographs that ESPN had put out there, when I say marijuana, we're talking about 2 very large bags that look like, keep those bags that I would throw stuff in to throw into my freezer. Like a steak or something, you know what I mean?
Really?
It looked that big. He also had, by the way, if we're talking about weight, 397 grams. That's how much he had.
That could be totally coincidental.
Could be coincidental. And then he also had a, I don't know what they're called, but one of those guns that are automatic. You just load it up and it just fires off and off and off. And so he had one of those and $190,000 in cash.
It could be completely necessary for an NFL player to have that kind of weaponry.
Well, how about the money? I mean, you got to have a little spending money, I suppose.
Hey, they live in a totally different world than us. You have no idea what they're spending their money on.
Yeah. Well, here's the $1 million question, Keith, and let's assume for the moment that there's going to be an explanation or something's going to come out of this. LeTroy Guion, believe it or not, he is a free agent. Or going to be a free agent. He was one of the players. I bet you these Packers were thinking about, let's go sign him. Let's re-sign this guy, because he had a pretty good season.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be available.
Yeah, I got a feeling this dampened the whole idea of let's sign LeTroy.
I hate to be that guy right now, but you don't trip and fall over that amount of drugs, that kind of weaponry, and that amount of cash.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's felony possession. So, let's see where that gets us. The bad word is felony. That is always bad.
Hey,
I will have to say this does improve nose tackle B.J. Raji's chances signing with the team.
If Guion gets away with probation, then we all need to know the name of his lawyer, because that is.
Well, who was it that the Packers had that got arrested? I mean, they cut him and eventually they re-signed him. John Jolly, was that it?
Yeah, he was the one that had somewhat bad legal troubles. But Mark Chmura had some legal troubles when he was in Green Bay about underage girls at a party. It was not pretty.
Yeah,
the situation, not the girls. I have no idea whether the girl was pretty or not.
And this is so very, very anti-Packer culture. I mean, this is not one of the things. And I wish I had more time today to follow up and see if we could have gotten Jim Widener on the show, the FantasyGreek.com's cover guy for the Packers, to talk a little bit about this. But I know Jim. I think he would have said, he's not going to be back next year.
LeTroy Guion rated 41st in stop percentage for nose tackles.
That's not that terribly great.
No, but I mean, he's in the neighborhood of Ziggy Hood for Jacksonville, and Justin Ellis from Oakland, Jared Odrick from Miami. So, I don't think they'll miss him much if they let him go.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. They'll find a way, as I always like to say. They'll find a way.
Now, he was on the field an awful lot, so you got to find somebody to carry that water. But
I'm trying to see here. Let's see what kind of free agents are out there at that position.
For comparison, Damon Harrison led the NFL in stop percent at 12.5%. So out of all of his run snaps that they were on the field for, he made a stop 12.5% of the time. That was best in the league. Guion was at 5.1%.
And some free agents that are available at that position are going to include Ndamukong Suh, Nick Fairley, Terrence Knighton, Henry Melton, Corey Redding. So there were quite a few guys out there.
Terrence Knighton was 11th.
I'm sorry?
Terrence Knighton was 11th in stop percentage.
There you go.
I personally don't know if Sue's going to hit the open market, personally.
Right.
What are some of the other names you mentioned there?
Nick Fairley. We got Henry Melton.
Yeah, Henry Melton.
Corey Redding. Kevin Williams will be available from the Seahawks. The former number 2 of the Williams Wall for the Vikings. So, I mean, there's going to be something there for the Packers. It won't be... This is not suddenly there's a hole in their defense that can't be filled with a competent player.
Agreed.
Well, let's move on to our next bit of news for the day on the NFL Police Blotter.
Because if we don't move on, we will run out of time because there's so much to talk about today.
There's so much to talk about. Well, we've got, and it was funny when the article that tipped me off to the news, it was entitled X-Raven Released. Or X-Raven indicted, and that was Terrence Cody, defensive tackle for the for the Ravens. In essence, what it meant is he got indicted, and immediately the Ravens released him today. It all happened today.
Wow.
And he's been indicted on numerous counts. I started reading the counts, and I just, I realized, okay, there's felony counts here, but it relates to torturing and killing an animal. It was a bull mastiff, was his own personal dog. And there's a couple of drug charges included in the indictment for things that were found at the home. So, that
was an easy.
Sounds like another bad day for. I think Terrence Cody was even. I don't know if he was a free agent. Well, he is one now. That's all that matters.
He only played only saw the field for one game this year for Baltimore. And only played 9 snaps in that game.
Oh, wow. Well,
how the mighty
Doesn't
have
sound like
fallen.
he'll be playing any more snaps for the Ravens. It's just amazing if you look at the things that NFL players who do get in trouble. Obviously, they don't all get into trouble, but the ones that do, it's things like this. It's things that relate to guns, drugs, dogs, assaults, and I think we've probably covered the gambit of it.
Right.
You know,
it's just I don't know. I remember him coming out of school, and the expectations were pretty high for him. Second round pick out of Alabama, but didn't even play that well in the 9 snaps that he was on the field for this year. So it was probably a much easier decision than we think. You just got that name. Sounds like, oh my God, they cut him, but he didn't really play.
Well, and you know what? The Ravens' front seven was excellent this year, and the fact that he only played in one game just says so much to the product that they're putting on the field defensively. So Ravens fans, feel confident you guys will be okay. In fact, I think we would agree that that's a reasonable expectation.
Timmy Jernigan made him completely expendable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, third on the NFL police blotter, and not to be totally outdone, certainly not as serious, probably more and definitely more hilarious was, and I wish Steve were here for this, Colts linebacker Taquell Jackson was arrested for assaulting a pizza delivery guy over an argument over a parking spot, or due to an argument over a parking spot.
Or at least it was over something worthwhile.
And I believe what I had seen originally was pizza delivery boy, and I thought, what does that mean? It means a teenager?
Yeah,
somebody that looked young. So pizza delivery guy, it makes more sense. But in either case, this is a big fella that I read it and I thought this has got to be one of the stupidest things I've seen in a long time.
I don't even know where to begin, because my first comment, my gut instinct is to start tackling this from the perspective of, if you're somebody in the limelight like an NFL player, and then I have to call myself back, down to earth and be like, if you're a human being, don't fight with the pizza delivery guy over a freaking parking spot.
Well, and I mean, this has been a bad offseason for the Colts. I mean, we're going to talk about the Browns shortly, but the Colts have had a really bad offseason if you count Colts linebacker Josh McNary. I mean, he was charged with rape, criminal confinement, bodily injury, and battery.
And that was right before the playoff game, too.
Right before the playoffs. So, and Taquell was, I want to say he played every single game.
He played 381 snaps this year. So he was, you ready for this one? 11th in the NFL in tackle efficiency.
Oh, my God. This is a huge loss.
Yeah, and he was...
Or not a huge loss. I mean, it's an assault, sorry. But more than likely, you would think, unless there's some reasonable explanation of this will involve some league discipline at some point.
Yeah, depending on how the player conduct policy shakes out. He was 4th in the league in run stop percent as a middle linebacker. And, he didn't really do... He was 21st in pass rush productivity. So, still, as far as a tackler in the middle of the field, that's a big loss for the Colts. If he misses any time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whoever.
And this is a side of the football where the Colts really need to keep their key personnel intact and try to use the offseason to improve on defense.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. They were middle of the road rated.
Oh my God! Wait, Keith, stop.
Okay.
Guess who I see in the house?
It's Steven.
Hi, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve Taylor, the Ed McMahon-like cohort sidekick to the show.
It's
Welcome,
better than
Steve.
Robin. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's better than Robin. Steve, you actually came in at the right time.